All right, make sure we're good.
Yeah.
Everything good. Rocking and rolling. What's up, baby? The wind-up live from Hoover. We're live from Hoover.
On, baby.
Harrison, for some reason, felt like he decided to put the SEC Unfiltered football helmet on.
Hey, we're strapped
because
up,
we don't
ready
have
to go.
Because we don't have a baseball helmet yet, and that's on me. And by the way, very on brand for us. We felt like we needed a rain delay for this show. So that's what we got. We're a little bit late, as is on brand for us. 4 or 5 minutes late. All good, though. Better late than never. Let's stay hot. Once again, appreciate you all tuning in. This is The Wind-Up. We are live from Hoover, Alabama. SEC tournament gets going tomorrow. Obviously, games bright and early in the morning. We'll be here all throughout the week, all the way through Friday, then heading back to HQ, covering the rest of it from home. But obviously, again, guys, we are really fired up, excited to be here, and thank you all so much for y'all tuning in. Again, we're breaking down the SEC tournament. We're going to preview and predict this thing, talk the bracket, talk some favorites, talk some gambling as well. There is a ton to discuss. And again, as y'all always know, technical issues, technical difficulties, they seem to follow us at times. We're hoping that's not the case here, but with this being the remote studio, y'all let us know. Y'all can hear us loud and clear, see us loud and clear. Let us know you're with us. We appreciate it because we got the comments pulled up here. We're going to have everything pulled up on you guys in. Again, cannot say thank you enough for y'all tuning in. As always, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, check us out via podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, you can also find us across all social media platforms as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. And as always, we are powered by our friends at FANDUEL. Visit FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today and get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Once again, that's FANDUEL.com/SECU to get $250 in bonus bets today. Like I mentioned, this is a special edition of The Wind-Up, SEC Unfiltered's bi-weekly college baseball show. And by the way, you get us twice today, the double dipping. We went live this morning talking about the weekend that was, conference weekend number 10. Now here we are yet again, guys. It is SEC Baseball Tournament Eve, the biggest and best conference tournament in all of college baseball. It's like a mini Omaha, essentially. At least that's what I've been told. This is my first SEC baseball tournament experience. Like I mentioned, we're pleased to be joined by you all. We're pleased to be talking to you all right now, getting you ready for the SEC tournament and the best college baseball show on the internet. We're here in person. Again, my guy Harrison, what's up, baby? Glad to be here with you. We've been on the road. I've been on the road. You finally joined me now. I'm pumped up, man. I'm excited, fired up. We got a hell of a week ahead.
What better way to join into our first show together for the wind-up of 2025 than in Hoover for the SEC tournament? Yeah. I mean, we know the road to Omaha goes through the SEC. It's going to go through Hoover. We're going to have a blast. I'm stoked for it. I mean, we were trying to figure out, make sure we set up all the cameras right. We're like, wait, we don't. He's like, I don't have to have a headset. I'm looking for my mic.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, we're here. First time doing it. I'm
Listen,
excited.
If we can get through this show with no technical issues and technical difficulties, then we really are hitting a hot streak. We're really hitting our stride as the postseason gets into play, and that's exactly where we are. Obviously, the college baseball postseason away. Lots to play for this week, not just here, but all over the college baseball world. But certainly, this is what we are focused on. Like we mentioned, it all gets going tomorrow. So, Harrison, with that being said, and by the way, first things first. First impressions of Hoover for me, I tell you, pulling up to Hoover Met, it was a little bit more than I expected. I'm excited to see kind of the atmosphere, the fan bases, the crowds. Tons of LSU flags already out there. I drove by the RV lot already. And it looks like Baton Rouge East. Like LSU, I don't know if people in Baton Rouge or LSU folks know they don't play till Friday. I'm genuinely convinced they don't know that they actually don't play till Friday, or they just don't care. And they're just out here tailgating for 3 days. I'm going to go with
B, they don't care, but it's also an excuse to tailgate in pregame longer, right? When we turned in, you take a left right into that parking lot behind center field. That first tent you see there, that yellow one, that large, just double wide tent, I promise you that's an LSU tent. I know it so well from last year. It is the LSU tent where I spent a lot of time last year in Hoover, and they treated me well. So shout out to LSU for the hospitality here in Hoover last year. Just kind of winging it last year. Now a little bit more planning, a little more.
Now I'm the one winging it.
Yeah, well,
now you're like my tour guide, which is strange. Which is odd for me.
Definitely gonna have some good food here. Big Yelp guy, obviously hit a good spot just to kind of get things settled in before the show. Got a bunch of spots we're gonna hit before the end of the week. I mean, I'm excited. Just the meeting all the fan bases, the energy that the fan bases bring, and just who goes on a run here, because someone's going to go on a run. I think it's going to be someone that doesn't have a double bye is going to go on a run here in Hoover, and I'm excited to see who it is, and we're excited to find out because it could be anybody.
Yeah, that again, man, I'm excited to be here with you. This is awesome. I think we've been kind of manifesting this, dreaming about this for a while. This is obviously this is kind of the prequel for us to what Omaha is going to be. And we're going to be doing this a lot live from the College World Series, but there's no better way to get it rolling than doing it right here in Hoover. Again, guys, we appreciate you all tuning in. Whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, we can see all of your comments. We're going to get to your comments as we always do in every single show. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in this thing, Harrison. I want to go ahead and start. Let's take a look at the bracket first, just the layout itself, who got what draw. Obviously, this is new for everyone this year. It's the first time. Single elimination. It is going to be a different look SEC tournament, and all 16 teams make the field. Now, we can debate whether you think that was a good idea, bad idea. Of course, it is interesting the first year that we have that. We have teams that were historically bad this season, just based off their records alone, that still get to partake in the SEC tournament. So that being said, let's go ahead. We're going to pull up the bracket for you guys on screen, and I'm going to pull up the bracket as well. Harrison, your thoughts initially. Again, I think it's interesting that you don't have any more double buys. It's all single elimination. So teams like in your top four, LSU, Arkansas, Vanderbilt,
Texas.
And Texas, not even playing till Thursday or Friday. So it is a benefit. I think it's fair to say, and we're going to talk favorites and sleepers and what have you, and we got gambling odds. I mean, those are obviously your favorites to win it, just from the standpoint, the advantage to where, dude, if you're one of those top four seeds, you're just essentially playing a weekend, another SEC weekend.
Yeah, because all it takes is 3 wins to win that SEC championship. Versus
if you're, Alabama tomorrow, Mizzou, Florida, whoever else. I mean, you got to get this thing rolling on Tuesday or Wednesday, and the challenge is that much greater. But when you look at the bracket, the matchups we do have, the potential matchups we could get, anything jump out to you? I think there are some paths for some teams, and they're a little bit easier, a little bit more difficult than some of the other ones there.
I think what immediately jumps out to me, other than kind of the layout and the structure of it being 16 teams, maybe a hot take. I think it's good for the league as a whole, but I think it's also bad for the league from a fan base standpoint because, yes, you're guaranteed to be in the SEC tournament in Hoover, but it's hard if you're going to travel from, let's say, Arkansas. You're going to travel from, Gainesville or, Texas, Oklahoma, just these places where it's a little far to come for like just one game potentially, because you don't know if you're going to win that. Because think about it, when we had the double elimination, I'm going to come watch my team play for 2 games, and if you have that play in, I'm going to come watch them play. I think they're going to do a really good job in the opening. They win that, you get 2 more games. You get to see them 3 games. So I think that kind of aspect I'm a little, I miss because I think it's going to be, I don't think as insanely packed as a fan base across the board, but some fan bases are going to show up obviously more than others just from kind of the pedigree at which the school supports baseball and the fans do. But I think that just kind of takes away from is it worth going to Hoover for a trip just for maybe a game or, 2 days? How do you plan that, logistics around it? But, let's save it for a regional maybe. So that is what kind of jumps out to me initially. But game-wise, game 4. Number 11, Mississippi State, and number 14, Texas A&M immediately jumps out to me.
Tomorrow night number 1.
Yeah. I think from a standpoint of both teams have so much that they can play for, and for different reasons. Mississippi State's obviously one of the hottest teams in the SEC, which is how they've changed the trajectory of their program this season. Not the program as a whole, but the program like this season, this team's club, right? In a month with Justin Parker at the helm, the interim. I mean, like we talked about before, he's making a phenomenal case for him to stay in that position going forward at Mississippi State, and what that would mean for a program and a pedigree of a school like Mississippi State. We talk about that, and just managing, obviously, and leading a team in the SEC tournament as an interim, what that's going to look like and how that's going to shape out. Like you said, the double buys, they're going to have to go a long way. They went 5 games to win the SEC tournament. Texas A&M, obviously, the storylines around that surround the season as a whole, the kind of hot middle of the season they had with at Tennessee, they win the series, at Arkansas, they win the series, and then just end up obviously losing to Missouri, getting swept at home, and what that meant. But it's like anything can happen here. This is why I think it's good for, in the sense of everyone gets in. It's because a team like Texas A&M that's so talented and so hungry and desperate and that can go on a run here has the opportunity to do so. And that game is going to be such a fun game to watch. And I think the winner of that game could really go on a deep run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just looking at the bracket. I think, and you make a great point, by the way. I think that game tomorrow night, the final game, going to be really interesting. We're going to talk about, I think, who's got the most to gain from this week in Hoover, because there's one thing I want to go ahead and nip in the bud that, I feel like what gets thrown around this time of year is, oh, does the conference tournament really matter? Like, teams are out there, they don't really care. Like, folks, I'm here to tell you right now, and we were out there at practice today. We talked to Kevin O'Sullivan. We talked to Florida. Like, somebody has to win this thing. And teams right now are still building postseason resumes. You're still building momentum to the postseason. And they told us straight up, like, if you're going out there with a mindset of, well, this doesn't really matter. Like, we're already at this point in regards to we're a 2 seed or we're a host or we're a top 8 national seed. Like, if you go in with that mindset of like, oh, this doesn't really matter, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So if you go in with that mindset, you're setting a terrible tone for yourself going into regionals, going into supers, going into Omaha. So it's this fun thing that I think, whether it's fans of the game or talking heads on social media, although if anybody out there, you've played any type of sport at any level, you understand, like, to get to a place of being where these guys are, to being the elite level athletes, elite level coaches, you don't have a mindset of, oh, we're going to go out there and give it 70% this time or 80%. Now, will coaches be different with the way they strategize and maybe who they pitch or they don't pitch, or for guys not 100% healthy, would they hold him back versus if it was they were in Omaha and it's game 3 or whatever it is? Sure. But I think we need to just get rid of this notion early on in the show that, well, the tournament just doesn't matter. And that's fine for anybody out there want to say these guys step between the white lines. It matters. They're trying to win this shit. Like, it's no big. No, they're trying. I don't care who it is. It's the guy that's not experienced. It's the guy that throws tomorrow that was the midweek pitcher all year. Like, it matters to everybody, whether it's Mississippi State trying to build momentum to the postseason. They know they're in. Whether it's A&M fighting for their lives that they may get one more baseball game after this week. Whether it's, Georgia, Vandy, LSU, they feel good about their top 8 national seeds, Sandy, but building momentum. I think it's important, Harrison, to identify and to get out ahead of that this does matter. Yeah, and I'm excited to see that intensity play out.
Yeah, like you said, when the players step between the white lines, they're not thinking, oh, let's save it, for a regional. Like, you don't do that in baseball, let alone the level at which these guys are talented-wise in playing in the SEC and then obviously coaching the SEC. You don't treat a program like that. You don't treat and lead your team like that. And it's more so, I think, beyond that, to a point of, this is how I coach. This is my style of coaching. This is how I manage and lead a program as a whole. It's not going to change day to day. It doesn't matter if it's, doesn't matter if we're playing this team in a midweek or this team in a weekend series. It doesn't matter. You approach everything the same way. The mindset, the goals, the ambition, the drive, the motivation. This isn't a lollygag practice either. We saw guys busting around practice, taking legit cuts, getting their work in. I mean, you can have some fun doing that, but you're not goofing around. You're taking it seriously. This is one more just tune-up day, a couple of last swings, tweak a couple of things, just get better about, how maybe you're struggling with receiving a ball. Maybe you're struggling just not backspinning the ball enough. Just little things like that can make a difference and allow teams and players to have big moments, but allow teams to go deep in the postseason here, starting with the SEC tournament.
Yeah, you and I both know, man, you only get to wear the jersey so many times. So there's a lot of guys out there, depending on what team it is, again, they may be looking at this like this might be the last time we suit up with the boys. Yeah. We're going to give it our all. Again, somebody's got to win this thing. So people can say it doesn't matter, but there's going to be somebody on Sunday that hoists a trophy. I think everybody out there would like it to be them. Back to the bracket here. So when I look at it, I think what jumps out to me is some of the rematches we're getting. Like, we saw Florida, South Carolina play out on the field. They'll face all tomorrow. Kentucky just swept Oklahoma. Oklahoma gets another crack at them. We might get Bama, Tennessee on Wednesday again, right? Those two teams can face off. Harrison, we might get Tennessee, Texas.
We might get a rematch of Arkansas, LSU at a neutral site.
Right.
Unless you're an LSU fan, you think that's Alex Box East.
Fair enough. I mean, I think the path, like when you look at the way the bracket shaped out, I mean, dude, I think that lower half of the bracket, in my opinion, is definitely the tougher side, with Arkansas down there, LSU down there, Auburn down there, Ole Miss down there, Florida's down there, Mississippi State, A&M, who obviously scuffled all season but has an incredible amount of talent if they, God forbid, were to get hot. So that bottom half of the bracket that you guys are looking at and we're looking at, That's going to be elite baseball.
Chris, we could get a matchup that decides who's the real UT.
We could. I mean, that's what I want.
Who is the real UT?
I am fingers crossed that
apparently there's a debate. Apparently there's not a debate, but
yes,
I have my piece about it.
I'm fingers crossed that on Thursday at 3:00 Central, we are watching Tennessee and Tech. I would love nothing more.
I hope we see just all orange on.
It will be, dude. It will be. And you talk about. I think you make a great point about attendance too. What that looks like. You get a matchup like that.
Yeah,
there won't be an empty
You get an Arkansas LSU matchup.
Yeah, there won't be an empty seat. Yeah,
it's gonna be empty seats. It's gonna be standing room only. And everyone's gonna be standing watching that game.
And the other thing to keep in mind too, this is Hoover. Right now, there's none in the forecast, but we could get rain delays. God forbid we see LSU start around 10:00 Central Time. It gets past midnight. Whoever you're playing, whoever you are, good luck because LSU's going to win.
Say a prayer.
They're going to win.
I will say for the rain delays potentials with the history of it. Last year we didn't have any. I was here for that, just so that's noted. Chris was not here for it last year. Chris is here now. And the amount of times that he has said rain today, the R word, that no one wants to speak of in Hoover.
Listen, weather looks good. Weather report looks good right now.
He sends me the weather report a week ago, say, I think we're good next week. I'm like, dude.
I'm trying to be optimistic. Like, listen.
No, I've heard you're the jinx before. Some SEC fans say you're the jinx.
There's a lot of them out there that think that. All right, Harrison, before we get into our picks, I want to talk favorites and sleepers. And it's probably more of a fun conversation talking sleepers because I think we know the favorites, obviously, at this point. Our friends over at FanDuel, as you've probably seen on social media, they have dropped odds to win the 2025 SEC baseball tournament. And these are each of the odds for the 16 teams participating in this tournament. Arkansas, how about that? The Hogs are the favorite to win it. And I think, again, some of that's got to do maybe with some of the matchups, maybe. I think LSU might have the tougher matchup of the end of the top 4 seeds. But either way, Arkansas plus 250, LSU right behind them at plus 410, Vandy at plus 600, Texas, the number 1 seed, all the way at plus 650. Wow. I think Vegas taking into account those injuries. Either way, Tennessee also at plus 650. Interesting for the Vols. Georgia at plus 800, Auburn plus 1,400, Ole Miss plus 1,900, Florida plus 2,200, Mississippi State plus 3,100, Bama plus 3,100, A&M plus 3,100, both Kentucky and Oklahoma at plus 6,000, and Mizzou and South Carolina at plus 10,000. Harrison, let's start sleepers first and long shots because, like I mentioned, I think the favorites are pretty well defined here. And we can talk more about the favorites in a second. But of the long shots, anybody jump out to you as maybe you're not picking them to win it all, but maybe you say they may be worth it just in case they catch fire and could do it?
I definitely think there's 2, if not 3, but I'm going to go the 2 route right now. I know you're going to be a fan of this one for sure. Plus 2,200, the Florida Gators. Kevin O'Sullivan, with how serious and how, he takes this program and how hot they are. They're one of the hottest teams in the country. They're playing some of the best ball in the country as well. Yes, they're thin, but they're so talented and they're just finding a way to win game after game, week after week, series after series. Mm-hmm. And they're not shy away from, being in this big moment, being on the big stage. We've seen the teams that he's taken from, the top to the end of the end of the year, from, just middle of the pack, sneaking in the bubble to Omaha, and just to overcome the adversity that they have this year. I don't think you can count out the Florida Gators at all. And I mean, obviously, I think the mindset around practice was that too. And we talked to guys, he said, hey, we're not fully healthy, but we're hot. So that one for me.
That was a great line. That was just a great.
And
they know it. Listen,
the last line
they know they're banged up, but they also know they're red hot. So just be careful.
They know for sure. And I think another one sticks out to me. Mississippi State plus 3,100. If we're gonna go long shots,
another team that's hot.
Yeah, long shots, right? And so I'm thinking plus 1,000 or better.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm going Mississippi State. I just think they're playing hot. They're a lot more healthy. The Fighting Justin Parkers are playing some of the best ball in the SEC. They're gonna travel. We know that, as passionate fan base as they are. I think they can go on a run here. It's gonna be a tough game against A&M. And I've said it before. I had some comments on Twitter about it. With the Texas A&M, Mississippi State, I picked Texas A&M to win 2. I think they're going to win 2. I think, just why not? Something's got to give. Backs against the wall more than they've ever been, and they have the talent to do so, and they have the pitching staff to do so. But Mississippi State, I think the winner of that game, I put a 51-49. I put A&M. But I think Mississippi State wins that. They can go on a deep run here. And I think it's going to be tough to go against LSU with that double bye. You're facing all their guys fresh, and you're facing, you're 3 games in as Mississippi State. But I really do like where they are in that position. And I like them matching up against Auburn very well. And even after playing 1 game ahead. So those 2 are the biggest long shots for me that I, like you said, not maybe look to win it, but look to make a deep run and are poised to do so and are talented enough to do so for sure.
No love for the Aggies plus 3,100.
I like to go with high floors. High floors, Chris.
Here's the key. I think here's the key for all these long shots that are trying to make a run. If you can get to Thursday and if you can get to your weekend arms, that's the key for them. Like, okay, can you get to Thursday?
It's the biggest unknown is how teams like in these with no buys are going to pitch. Because think about Oklahoma. You're going to pitch Kyson Witherspoon?
I don't think you do that on short rest. That's what I'm saying.
Well, short rest too, but also if you can pitch,
because they all pitched on Thursday. All the ones pitched Thursday last week.
So if you can beat Kentucky without Kyson, then you can pitch Georgia with Kyson, buddy.
That's what I'm saying.
We've seen really good pitching shut down Georgia, not at home.
Yeah, and they're not.
Maybe
we've
seen Justin Lamb can shut down Georgia at home.
Yeah. So and that's I like the picks of Florida and State because I think both. If we can get to a place in the tournament, if those teams, win their first couple games and you get to, for Florida, Liam Peterson, Aiden King, like you're getting to some of their top tier guys. And then for State,
Kabbalah,
dude, if Pico Khan's taking the rubber, they could beat LSU. They could beat anybody.
Sierra shoves. He's had some fantastic outings. I mean, obviously I know I picked A&M. I would be my 3rd sleeper for a long shot bet, but just I didn't want to go 3 and go half the board. Kind of want to leave you some room, but
yeah. No, I mean, listen, I like both of those picks.
And those are all 3 in the bottom half of the bracket. We talk about how heavy it is down there. It feels like
if you're giving me anything above like plus 1,000, which I would agree is more, I am surprised that Auburn is that the odds for them are not shorter. I'm surprised how much of a long shot there. Plus 1,400 to win the whole thing.
You want to talk about long shot with a bye? Ole Miss. Plus 19. That's
another one. Ole Miss, I think, is because they've just been so inconsistent. Like, we don't know what we're going to get. But, dude, they got as much talent as anybody.
Same with, you don't know how much you're going to get out of Tennessee right now.
And, yeah, the odds for them, I think the odds for them are probably actually shorter than maybe they should be based on how they play, because it's like, it's the respect for Tony Vitello. It's the respect for Tennessee. Like, dude, they have the same odds as Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, think about what that's saying. They have the same odds as Texas.
Okay, is that more trust in
Texas?
Texas?
Has a double bye.
Exactly. Is that more trust in Tennessee or more doubt in Texas?
I think it's a mix of both. I do. I think Vegas is probably looking at the injuries that Texas is facing. Maybe the way they played down the stretch a little bit, right? Some unknowns with just how healthy a Max Ballou is, or again, what the rotation is going to look like. I think that's part to do with it. And I think some of it is the nod to Tennessee. Outside of that, I mean, I think you took probably the 2, and I mentioned Auburn and Ole Miss, obviously. I think State and Florida, for the value you're going to get, probably the 2 best odds. I'm telling you, you want me to get freaky, though, I'll throw A&M plus 3,100 out there. Just as a –
no,
they're probably not going to win. But – and I know he hasn't pitched well. But, again, A&M's another one. If they get to a place – where they can trot Prager out there Thursday, Lampkin on Friday. Think about
if Lampkin's going up against
Patton
LSU,
on Saturday. I mean, chance. I'm just saying.
I'll say this: Alabama.
If A&M gets hot, there are few teams more talented than them.
Yeah, I'll say this: Alabama plus 3,100, Texas A&M plus 3,100. I like A&M a hell of a lot better at that value. Because think about it.
Bama playing as the home team. They're 45 minutes down the road.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to pack it out. They don't pack out Sewell Thompson. They don't pack out the Joe at all. I mean,
here we go.
I've seen it in person. They don't pack it out.
I know.
But think about it. They got to go play Tennessee and then Texas and then a Vanderbilt. That's not an easy path. I know you get Missouri to start. And give them more confidence off the block. But no, when they get 100 meters down the stretch, I don't know. It's just the inconsistencies for Bama, too, I think frustrate me a lot more on the pitching staff than the highs in ceiling for A&M's pitching staff. And I think as much of a struggle as A&M has had, their ceiling on the bats is higher too.
Fair enough. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. We didn't mention Harrison. We've talked a lot about the underdogs. And by the way, I'm seeing some of the comments. Our guy Gig'em Bart is begging me to stop hiking up the Aggies. I apologize, Bart. It's just you just can't help yourself. You know what I mean? You just cannot help yourself. We didn't mention the favorites, though. Again, Arkansas plus 250, LSU plus 410, Vandy plus 600, Texas plus 650, Tennessee plus 650, Georgia plus 800. I'll just say everybody who's less than plus 1,000 odds favorites. Vandy plus 600
with a double bye. I mean,
with their staff,
yeah.
Listen, it feels like LSU or Arkansas both are really, really good picks. They're both the favorites for a reason. If I'm being honest, Texas is probably who I'm selling because of the injuries, because of
but you get Max Blue back.
But you get Max Blue back. You do.
He did well this past weekend.
When I say selling Texas, I just mean like for the odds, for the number. Like I'm trying to think a little bit more outside the box, right? So at plus 650, I don't know.
And we've seen if Vanderbilt play Georgia, we've seen they've done to them 3 games in a row.
Like if I'm trying to pick a favorite that is not the most obvious, I'm going Vandy plus 600.
Yeah,
that to me is like.
I mean, we both have Vandy in the championship game.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, obviously the rightful reason. I think they've played very well here the past few years. Tim Corbin does a really good job of managing that.
And you could argue this park kind of plays the style of team that this is not a bomb box. This is not Foley. This is not Lindsey Nelson. This is not, name another one. I don't know. I mean, what's Founders Park?
Founders Park's
a bomb box when the wind gets blowing out.
Yeah.
I'm just, it's not Alex Box. That can be a bomb box at times. This is a gap to gap, small ball, doubles. Like those teams are the ones that win.
Yeah. And with how hot it is and humidity, I think it's going to stick a little bit maybe. You never know.
It is a pitcher's paradise out here.
Yeah.
So that could bode very well for a team like Vanderbilt.
Plus with a double bye, they just have to go starting rotation. And they threw Connell Fennell out of the pen for 5 innings.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, with the double bye, Vandy's got the kind of arms you need to win a tournament.
If they don't have a double bye, I don't like it nearly as much.
No, I don't either. That's a good point. All right. We're going to get into our picks here. Again, our friends over at FanDuel, you can find those odds. You can place your bets. And, of course, guys, as always, we are brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. And I promise to my guy Harrison and all you out there, we will get the disclaimer on screen at some point, but it will not be today.
You told me it'd be today.
I know. I have to get it set up. I realize we're going to need Eric, our graphics guy, to do some work on that. The wait is over. Baseball season's finally here, and you can start the season strong on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now FanDuel is celebrating the return of baseball by giving new customers $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FanDuel's got so many ways for you to get on the action, from hits to steals to home runs. They got a lineup filled with all of your favorite bets, or if pitching's more your thing, FanDuel's got a deep bullpen of bets from strikeouts to shutout innings. So when you place your first bet, it can be on almost anything, and if it hits, you'll get $250 in bonus bets. And guys, of course, we just went through all of the odds. You want to go ahead and place your bets now. Tournament starts tomorrow, so you can't place those bets anymore, I don't believe. Maybe after each day they'll update the lines, if you will. But you want to go ahead and get your bets in now. Also, each and every single day, FanDuel is going to have run lines, which I'm going to be posting those first thing in the morning. We'll have them out. We're going to have some action. We're going to win some money this week in Hoover, and we're going to have a good time doing it, damn it. So visit FanDuel.com when you place your bets /SECU. That's FanDuel.com/SECU to join today. FanDuel.com/SECU. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official partners of Major League Baseball and of SEC Unfiltered. Must be 21 and up and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and up and present in DC. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right, let's go. So, game by game predictions. We've got my bracket. We've got Harrison's bracket. I'm going to let you have the honors. I say we start with your bracket. We're going to pull up each of our brackets. And Harrison's going to talk through his picks, why he came to the conclusion he did. And I'm going to do the same thing. Talk through my picks, why I came to the conclusion. They do say great minds think alike. I feel like, Harrison, you and I, our brackets are fairly similar. There's some differences, but some similarities as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get your bracket pulled up. Boom. Let me get the right layout here. There we go. Okay. So you guys see Harrison's bracket on the screen. Harrison, some people in the chat are saying you are the ball knower. So ball knowers know. Without further ado, my friend, start us tomorrow. Walk us through. Just give us your excerpt on why. And again, for those who are listening via podcast, Harrison has LSU Vandy in the championship game with the LSU Tigers winning the trophy on Sunday. Let's start from the top, though. Your thoughts starting tomorrow, who you picking and why?
So, Alabama, Missouri, I just think that Alabama, there's just no way that they're going to
Not a lot of explanation needed here.
They're not going to let it happen. It ain't happening. Nick Saban would not let it happen. I mean, so second game, Oklahoma, Kentucky rematch that played at Kentucky Proud Park, that Kentucky took the series in dominant fashion. It felt like. I feel like something's going to happen in which Oklahoma pitches off, because I feel like they have to if they want to go on a run. The style of which we talk about the ball field of Hoover Met and how Kentucky plays, just the little things they'll do right. A lot of foul ground space. I think, just feel like the gaps are big. They're going to get a consistent outing from whoever they throw their starting rotation. Probably more so Nick McKay, if anyone, or just a short start from him. This is the biggest thing with the first rounds that no one has bias, just the short starts, or how do they pitch off? How do they handle that? Just, you have a guy come in the bullpen and go 3-4 innings. If they can long relieve or what that, the mix and match, the strategies of that are very interesting to kind of follow along, but hard to predict. But I think Kentucky, just the style which they play, is scrappy enough, and they're going to steal a ton of bases. Oklahoma's obviously steals a lot of bases himself, but nothing like Kentucky. I think Kentucky finds a way to win. Just maybe it's a sack bunt and then a bloop single that scores a guy from second. Something crazy like that. So I got them advancing. Do you want me to go down? Just day by day?
Yeah, just go by day. I think that's going to be the easiest way. And then after tomorrow, then you kind of like walk. Because, again, those that can see it, you have the visual. Those that cannot, you're listening via podcast. These brackets are on social media by the time of this obviously dropping. So you guys are going to be able to follow along as well. Continue.
So Florida, South Carolina, I'm just overwhelmingly high on Florida in this matchup, just from obviously early in the season, how they played at
Beat
Founders
their
Park.
ass at Founders Park.
B-Day.
And by the way, we know in this game, Brandon Stone pitching for South Carolina. We don't know who Florida's throwing, but Brandon Stone, the Gamecocks Friday night guy, who just threw 73 pitches a few days ago.
Kevin O'Sullivan's too good of a head coach that knows his team too well to not be strategically sound in this game, I think. Even with short amount of players, short rest for some guys, limited options off the bench. I think they're playing with 10 again.
Yeah. I mean,
or is it 9 with Luke Heyman's injury? I think it's a big injury for sure to note.
It's either 9 or 10. It depends on how Justin Ato's feeling. I mean, they literally cannot afford another injury.
I mean, Colby Shelton's not back yet. We talked to him. Just he still has the stitches obviously in, but just Gator boys stay hot.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Gator boys stay hot, right? So I think they got the bats to swing it, and enough guys in the bullpen that are going to outpitch Carolina as well, and stay hot. So going down from that, my favorite matchup of day one, Mississippi State and Texas A&M. I think it might be a home game for Mississippi State.
I mean, we are pretty close.
We are pretty close. And I just don't see a lot of A&M fans traveling right now unless they go on a deep run, right? But hear me out. I think they're going to pitch off. I think both teams kind of pitch off. Maybe Ryan Prager pitches more so than a Pico Khan, just because I think you got to throw your ace if you win this against Auburn. I think A&M just new season, wipe the slate. It's just start fresh, one last ride together with our brothers, with these guys in this team, whether they're coming back this year for next year or not, they're going to go get drafted or not. Maybe they're hanging up the cleats. I just, something's changed. I think it's going to be one of the scrappiest claws game. I know I said Kentucky, Oklahoma's going to be a scrappy game. This game is just going to be, I think, intense down to the wire. And I think it's going to be a great way to cap off day one with a night game with that. And I think A&M pulls it out and just finds something that sparks a flame here in Hoover, and they get hot and they win the game in maybe an 8th, 9th inning run. Honestly, I think it'll be, maybe just the strategies. I'm so fascinated with the strategies pitching wise, being a former pitcher myself, but obviously I think it's the most important piece, because you can kind of, guys are going to swing it. They're going to swing it, right? Like that doesn't really change much, week to week, when they start the games, obviously, but pitching, like, guys are going to be, this is the time of the year. First off, it's going to be blazing hot, but time of the year in which, guys are getting taxed, innings wise, and how that's going to be kind of feeling for guys in the heat of Hoover, just the mileage they have in their arms so far this season. So I love that one for sure. 51-49.
And by the way, too, I already said my piece on everybody's fired up for this tournament, but A&M, I would expect, is going to be playing desperate. I mean, they are the definition of desperate.
And I think that, like, you're not going to catch A&M slacking one, but they're going to be sprinting everywhere, like hustling, like Johnny Hustle, like Pete Rose. I think just hustling everywhere, like doing all the little things right. I think they have to win and go on a run. So back to the top, a rematch of what
Wednesday's games. These are Wednesdays now.
Second round, a rematch of what is on the gridiron, the third Saturday in October. I don't know what they call it in baseball, but I think Tony Vitello, the boys get right. Similar kind of situation. Hey, regular season's behind us. New season right now. We love this team. We trust these guys. We know how talented they are. I think that's kind of the internal message. And they want to go prove everyone wrong. They want to go prove what they've proved the first half of the season to everyone. It doesn't matter who they pitch because they have, depth with Marcus Phillips, who he did start that first game last series. So, like, it's more on a similar rest than trying to flip it now. But I just think that they do the little things right and just mash the ball in the gaps. I think with how big this park's going to play, I don't know, going to be a ton of home runs unless they're snuck down the line more so, or less, Jared Jones just hits one into orbit in center field again or something like that. But I just think that Tennessee sharpens the knives, makes the track down south from the great state of Tennessee, the volunteer state. And I think they just come up here and they play, I don't want to say bully ball, but they play with a chip on the shoulder because they know how good they should be playing, and they haven't been. So I got them beating Alabama. Then the second game, Kentucky, Georgia. I think Georgia's just so hungry to do well here. Just so hungry. And I think that you get more length from Brian Curley and Leighton Finley. I think maybe it's a JT Quinn start or something like that. I think he's gonna be an important piece of that game here. And, just the way that the lineup's swinging. I think like they proved they can hit on the road.
And they've pitched much better of late.
They've pitched much better too, but they proved they can hit on the road.
And I think they're probably tired of hearing about they can't.
And they're tired.
But again, this is not a park that plays what they want to do. But
they're tired of hearing they can't hit on the road, and they're tired of not doing well at Hoover, I think. And I think they're a great opportunity to do so here. And I think they just outslug Kentucky, even though we've seen Kentucky, scrap and claw in that kind of fashion when they played at Georgia early in the season. And so I just think that Georgia's going to overpower them a little bit, maybe like a 8-6 game, 8-5, maybe something like that. And they're going to advance. Florida, Ole Miss, super intriguing matchup for me. I think they pitch off. I don't think they pitch Hunter Elliott. You don't know what you're going to get from Riley Maddox, I think. Obviously, you hope it's a great start. I think he has the talent, obviously, to be a great pitcher consistently. He just hasn't proven that yet, which is a lot easier said than done. And I think, they bring in, just a lot of their bullpen pieces behind them. I think they have to. And I think they're fine doing that back-to-back days with, if they win playing Arkansas. But I just think Florida the Gator boys stay hot. I mean, they're not going to come in here ice cold. It feels like, even though I know Ole Miss just took series from Auburn at Swayze. This isn't Swayze. That is a big home field advantage, I think, for Ole Miss, especially because I've seen it from the outfield. The whole backdrop is like white, the concourse. I think it plays advantage for Ole Miss too. Here in Hoover, I mean, it's not balling and get out as quick. The inconsistencies of the lineup a little bit worry me, even though they have some depth there. It's just, I don't know what kind of start I'm going to get out of, a Riley Maddox, or if it's anyone other than Hunter Elliott. And I think as long as Florida isn't losing more guys, I got Florida winning this game in 6-5, kind of, a middle run game, nothing offensive explosion from either team, but just kind of each team chipping back and forth, trading blows and jabs. So,
and I wonder too, if Florida's playing in that second round game, is it a Pierce Capallo?
I was thinking a Pierce Capallo game for sure. And just the way that he's kind of come back on track and just.
Yeah, because he only went three and he's on a little bit of a pitch count right now. Yeah. That's going to give him
10 strikeouts too. Yeah. So his stuff's dialed and he's feeling sharp, and I think the ball is going to spin for all these pitchers here in Hoover. Just The fastball is going to jump out the people's hands. The breaking ball is just going to be sharp and dialed. Like the RPMs are going to be through the roof. The amount of scouts are going to be paying attention to that for sure. Last game of day 2 of round 2, Texas A&M, Auburn. I think A&M is going to be hot, and like
Gig'em Bart's going to hate you for this pick,
or he's going to love me when
or
it
love
happens.
you.
But I just think that, like,
stop hyping up the Aggies, darn it.
For me, the way that Auburn played last weekend, I know it was at Swayze against a team that plays well at home, but it's just like, I don't know if, like, they don't have as much to play for, I feel like, which isn't, I'm not saying they're not going to play well. It's just, I think that, they're not going to pull out every stop they have to win the game because they're not that desperate. They're not. They're going to host.
And A&M is.
Yeah. A&M is, and they're going to have Justin Land can probably throw, and how sharp and dialed he is right now against a good offense. And I don't know. I mean, I know this is kind of a home game for Auburn too. I think they're going to come out and have a good crowd and nothing crazy. I mean, I posted earlier the regular season attendance numbers for each school, and Auburn's bottom 5. Really surprised by that. I know it's a smaller park. Seating capacity wise, not, I guess, a bomb box of outfield dimensions, but seating capacity wise, been there, played there myself. Super cool experience. So I got A&M staying hot. And I'm saying if this was the same situation for Mississippi State, I would still take Mississippi State over Auburn for a lot of the same reasons. And especially if you have an Evan Sierra or, a Pico Khan going in that game. I like that. I just think it matches up well with the style of which Auburn plays. That's just, they're not going to blow you away with anything necessarily consistently, but they just play at a high floor level baseball, doing a lot of the things right. So back up to the top, quarterfinals, day 3.
This will be Thursday.
This is Thursday, yes. Yep. Tennessee, Texas.
Need this matchup more than we need air to breathe.
Do you need this more than you need Arkansas LSU rematch?
Yes, because we didn't get this.
That's fair.
We didn't get.
I agree.
This won't be a rematch. This will just be a showdown.
I agree. The battle of the real UT.
Yes, it's a shame we didn't get this in a best of 3 this year.
I know. Oh my gosh, I know. At either park, but
at either park.
Hey, maybe we'll get it in a regional or super regional.
There's been some projections.
I think this is just one that is going to be such a fun game to watch.
I'm kind of surprised you went Texas here a little bit.
I'm just going to say this disclaimer: Texas fans are not going to like it. Tennessee, this is for the Tennessee fans. Texas would not be a state without Tennessee. They're called the Volunteer State for a reason. The real UT. Don't come at me, but
all right. There you go. The mic drop.
I'm just going to say the same thing. The University of South Carolina was a university before California was a state.
The real USC.
Just saying. I mean, their helmets even say just SC. I know they have the trademark technically, obviously that different issue. I just think Texas, there's no way Texas goes 1-1. I mean, they love playing these hype ball games against elite talent. Yes, this is a neutral site game. It's not playing at home at Dish Falk where they've had the majority of their, easier schedule, but majority of their, tough matchups like LSU, Georgia, Auburn, I guess you could say A&M with the rivalry it was, how close those games were. There's no way Texas is going 1-1. No way. There's too much talent. You get Max Ballou back. I think he's a big day. And I just
let me ask you this though: is Texas getting Liam Doyle in this game?
That's my question. but the thing is,
because Texas, if they are,
yes, but Texas doesn't have a problem hitting against velocity. I don't think they have a problem.
And Liam Doyle got roughed up in his last start.
Well, think about it. Texas has hit well enough off of Cade Anderson and Anthony Ironson.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that they mashed them, but like they're not afraid of velocity.
They don't know.
None of those guys are.
They don't know.
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of things that Texas can execute and kind of, I guess, pull out weaknesses of Tennessee, like the base running. I think it's going to be a big thing too. So I just, like I said, I don't think they go 1-1. Hook them advance.
Okay,
but I still think Tennessee is going to be one of those deadly teams in the postseason and the NCAA tournament. So going down, Georgia Vandy rematch. Vandy just has their number, and they're gonna have JD Thompson going, and they know how to pitch to Georgia, and they execute it so well. It's hard to beat a team, twice in football, but they're gonna beat them 4 times.
On a side note, if we're really there were some shocking results this past season. Vandy sweeping Georgia was probably that was one that just came out of left field. On a side note, by the way, but yeah, they obviously got something on the dogs. That's for sure.
And I just think that I like the matchup really well for Vandy there. Just they cannot give up 5 runs if they want to win that game. I don't think.
It's got to be low scoring.
That's going to be, and that's their forward, and that's how this ballpark's going to play. That's going to how they're kind of approach the game on both sides of the ball. And I really trust Tim Corbin in the situation here. And I think they put up a door for Georgia that they can't kick down. So there's no trees.
A door, no pun intended.
They put up a door. Yeah, I'll pun intend that one. And there's not enough folly trees around here, not enough kudzu to hit into. So
I saw it today. There's not a ton of trees.
A lot of cars in the parking lot you can hit if you hit that far, though, over the bullpen. But going down Florida, Arkansas, Florida just runs out of gas. I got to run out of gas. I think it's a long week. It's a hot week, and Arkansas come in fresh. They'll come in probably Wednesday practice. Go light practice, kind of walk through stuff like that, and then you're going to get everyone as fresh as you can be in this tournament. And with how lethal that offense is, number one in the country, and number one in the SEC in so many categories, and just top 10 in the country in so many categories. Obviously hitting, average, OPS, WRC plus is how elite their offense is and the high floor at which they play at. Just too much overpowering in the depth that they have too, and where they can go with how they want to do things. Being with that double bye, so important. Texas A&M, LSU,
another rematch
that does not go in the favor of the Aggies, unfortunately. It's a lot of the same reasons. Just running out of gas. I think,
and they're going to get Cade Anderson.
They're going to get Cade Anderson too. Or it doesn't matter if they get Anthony Ianson. It really doesn't matter. I just don't think that.
I mean, heck, he shut them down. Ianson shut them, but really both Cade Anderson and Ianson.
And you're going to get their best, and they're not going to mess around. They're going to pull out all the stops, I think, because they can with the rest they have, and they play so well here in Hoover. It feels like a home game. I mean, the amount of times year,
I think LSU leads all SEC teams. They've won 12 SEC tournament titles.
They take this thing seriously, and the fans do too.
Just winning in general at LSU.
I mean, we saw seriously. Was it a comment we saw, or I can't remember what it was. It was about LSU fans. They're playing on Friday, but you wouldn't know.
Oh yeah,
you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Like
they're
already
here.
Setting up shop.
They're already here.
Either they're working remote, took some time off, or don't work.
Something. I don't know.
Or freelance.
They got sent here. They're on paid vacation by the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, maybe.
Jay Johnson just is footing everybody's bill to come out.
We did find a Cajun restaurant we might hit later this week. And it might be packed out with LSU fans.
If we don't get some crawfish this week, I'm gonna be upset.
I got crawfish. I got to make your own crawfish bowl last year.
If there's not some crawfish getting boiled out there at some of the tailgates, Chris, I will be upset.
You ain't gotta worry about that. I'll take you. I know where to go. Don't worry. I got some connections there. So, still, hopefully, my invite to the box is still happening at some point.
It is.
Apparently my privileges have now been reinstated, according to our friend Blake Ruffino at AYS Sports. So, looking forward to that, whenever that is. But back up to the top, semifinals on Friday. Yes. Texas Vanderbilt. I just think with the depth that Vanderbilt has on the mound.
This would be Saturday.
That's what I was thinking. Saturday. The championships on Sunday.
Because the first two are the first two games you just talked about with Texas, Tennessee, Georgia, Vandy would be Thursday. And Friday is Florida, Arkansas, A&M, LSU. We don't have that written on the bracket. Yep. Yes. Now this would be Saturday, semifinal Saturday,
which is good. I like how they structure with that. So I just think the depth that Vanderbilt has in the mound with what I think Texas is going to have to do to stop Tennessee. And I know you get Max Blue back. I just think I really like how this Vanderbilt team's playing, how they play here, how they kind of coach here. And
they got Cody Bowker, we think, probably going?
Probably Cody Bowker. But
you could. They'll have some options.
Yeah, exactly.
And who hasn't thrown to that point?
And you'll probably either get one of Sawyer Hawks or Miller Green. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't mix the names up.
Yeah.
So one of those guys, I just like kind of the matchup of it. And it's going to be, who hits it more, because both teams are going to, pitch really well. You're probably going to get Ruger Riojas maybe, or Luke Harrison in that situation. I love that matchup for both sides of the ball, for both teams. Be a fun to watch. I hope we get that one for sure. And then bottom, Arkansas, LSU, rematch, not in the box, but some LSU fans consider that Alex Box East. Oh man, dude, this was the hardest one of the tournament to pick for me. First round, hardest one was Mississippi State, Texas A&M, but this was the hardest one of the tournament. And I said to you, winner of this game is winning it all, winning it all in the SEC tournament. And I just think LSU edges it out. I just think with the depth that they have on the pitching staff of guys that are pitching so well right now, and just I think more of a trust factor for me that something's going to flip their way right. And I don't know exactly what it is. It's just more, I guess, a hunch and just how I've seen both these teams play. I think LSU also travels a lot better. That we've seen it already. I just think it's a long way from Fayetteville. You're going to have that home field, home crowd support. and they just love playing here and winning here. I think they just edge out, and I think a 5-4 ball game, maybe a 4-3, 5-4 game, but they edge it out and they go to championship, and they play Vanderbilt, the Commodores, who a lot of people that you said at the beginning, you said maybe Vanderbilt was the most slept on team that did so well this season from preseason expectations of what we had.
19-11 in conference play, did not play Mizzou, did not play South Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say the most impressive season from a sleeper standpoint were Vanderbilt and Auburn. I mean, you could, I don't want to say throw Texas in that mix, but I mean, you could, but I think it's a cop out more so. But I just love that LSU in the championship is going to have probably, Kassan Evans, Chase Shores,
Zach Cohen.
You're going to have a lethal amount of arms, and it's going to be Connor Fennell for Vanderbilt. Probably if we're going to go this kind of, Balker and then Fennell for game 3 of how it would work out rotation wise. I like the depth of LSU's bullpen a little bit more of that, and just the clutchness of their offense and the higher floor which their offense plays at, I think, for me. And so I think LSU just comes here and after Sunday claims it as Alex Box East.
LSU Tigers winning the SEC tournament. That's not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick at all. LSU fans will take over this place. And I think with LSU, it's never a question of motivation or they're going to be playing with a chip on the shoulder. Hey, there's still some of their fans. Again, we talk about how antsy they are, and I mean that in the best possible way, but they are. There's some of them out there, they're worried about, are we actually a top 8 national seed? Number 1, yes. Number 2, you take care of business like you're saying, they won't have to worry about that at all. So, LSU fans are going to show up hungry, wanting to just destroy everyone.
Eat some crawfish and beat everybody.
And beat everybody's ass. So, all right. So you got your picks in. LSU vanning in the final. LSU hoisting the trophy on Sunday. Let's get to my bracket. Again, like I said, great minds think alike. So you and I have got some picks that are very, very similar.
And a lot of this is really hard to do with just how the pitching is going to go out and shake.
Listen. We ball knowers know. But ball knowers also know that we don't have all the pitching probables and who knows who throws. And we're doing our very best along with each and every single one of you. All right. Let's pull up my bracket here. Let's run through these. We'll start with the action tomorrow. Alabama, Mizzou.
Mizzou's got like 8-9 people out.
Do they really?
Yeah, I saw the injury.
I did not know that.
Which doesn't really
hurt your
case anyway.
They could have their entire team. I don't think it would matter. I don't see Mizzou catching fire in any way all of a sudden in Hoover. So I'm going to go with Bama here to advance. Oklahoma, Kentucky. Again, we just saw this play out, and we know Oklahoma, no Kyson Witherspoon. It is a much more uphill climb for them. I like Kentucky. Scrappy ball club, find a way. Again, they already beat them, swept them in a series. I think Kentucky just carries that momentum. They're able to do it again. They take down Oklahoma. They advance. Florida, South Carolina. I like the Gators as well. Like what you said, Gator boys stay hot. Brandon Stone pitching tomorrow for South Carolina. Very, very questionable for me. Very questionable move by South Carolina. I think the Gators just find a way. I like what you said, the whole run out of gas thing. I think that's very real because depth is so important. It will not be in this game, though. It will not. Florida, listen, we talk about teams have a lot to play for. Florida, potentially. They're fighting for potentially hosting postseason baseball at Conjure Family Ballpark. It may be a long shot, but you got to win game 1 to have a chance. I think they will do that. And finally, the final game of day 1. You talked about it. Texas A&M, Mississippi State. I'm going to hate myself when Mississippi State run rules Texas A&M. I'm going to hate myself for the pick. It's just so hard, even with as bad as they were, looking at them and being like, you fall in love with the roster. You fall in love with the team on paper. Then you watch them and you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot. They stink this year. But my God, on paper, they're one of the best teams and one of the most talented teams, certainly in this field. And still, I'd probably say all of college baseball. I'm saying all of this with respect to Mississippi State.
At their best.
At their best. I'm saying this with all respect to Mississippi State. I do think this is a thrilling game to end day 1. Call me crazy. I'm gonna roll with Aggie, and I guess if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and it is what it is. But
if I'm wrong, I hope Mississippi State goes on run because I'd love to see it, and I could see it happening. Absolutely.
At least I didn't pick Texas A&M softball to win the national championship
or to win their regional.
That was a low blow by both of us. We apologize.
This is what happens when you get in person.
That was a low blow. That was a low blow for sure. Gig 'em Bart, please forgive us. Please. I know. No, listen. I should have never thrown that alley-oop. That's my bad. All right, let's go to day 2. the second round Wednesday. The action will get going. Alabama and Tennessee. This is going to be a really, really fun game.
This one surprised me.
By the way, the last time Tennessee, we talked about this morning, won a rubber match, it was against Alabama at their place. Harrison, I think Bama gets the revenge. I am done buying into what Tennessee could be, and I'm here to accept what Tennessee is. And if they don't have Liam Doyle on the bump, and they're not going to have, unless, I'd be stunned if they trotted Liam Doyle out there on Wednesday. I don't think they're going to have him on the bump. Bama, again, another team fighting for a potential hosting bid. There's hatred in this game. I think Bama gets their revenge. Something tells me I think Bama gets their revenge. Tony Vitello comes out on Monday on a radio show saying that, we're a team, we're an emotion. I'm paraphrasing, but we're an emotional team. And when things start going against us, we don't have the firepower or the ability to respond. Now, he's doing one of two things, maybe both of them. Calling his team soft and calling out his team. And I say challenging his team. He's calling out his team, challenging his team, or he's doing both. I think he's probably doing both, but that's a wild thing to just say. I'm going to roll with Bama. I'm going to roll with Bama here. Who's
pitching for them, though?
It's a good question.
That's my thing is, like, I trust Liam Doyle or Marcus Phillips better. Even with his
does Bama bump up Tyler Fay? Do they bump? I guess you can't bump up Riley Quick because he pitched on Friday last week.
If Bama can't get, let's say Bama pitches Tyler Fay against Missouri, if they can't win that, they don't deserve to be playing the postseason.
See, I don't even think you go Fay against Mizzou. If you feel like you got to throw one of your weekend guys to beat Mizzou,
do you consider him a weekend?
Start the Wizard of Oz. Start Osborne.
No, because you need him against Tennessee.
I know. No, they should be able. They should be able to throw some young guys out there and get past them. I don't know. I'm rolling with Bama to beat Tennessee. I think that's going to be an awesome matchup.
Hey, in the wise words of a comment I just saw, you don't have to pick an upset just for it to be an upset.
This
isn't basketball.
I know. I get it. But I'm going Bama. Call me crazy. I'm going Bama.
And the home field advantage of them playing, an hour down the road maybe? With how many fans?
Hey,
I'm curious to see how many Bama fans
This is going to be, y'all correct my geography. This is going to be Sewell Thomas West. Are we west of Tuscaloosa?
We're
east?
Southeast.
Sewell Thomas Southeast.
They don't really roll off the tongue.
I'm trying my best.
I know. I'm curious to see for that kind of conversation of who has a bigger fan base here support, Alabama or Auburn?
The challenge has been placed.
Alabama and Auburn
You heard it here on the windup. The challenge is placed. Who's going to show up and support?
I don't think either one of them will that much, and I hope they prove me wrong.
I hope they do too. All right, let's go Georgia, Kentucky. I am going with the Georgia Bulldogs here. I just think too much firepower. I like Georgia. Like you said, I do think there's a chip on the shoulder there. They want to prove they can win, not at Foley. And do I fully trust Georgia here? Maybe not, but I trust them to beat Kentucky. I'm going to go with the Dogs. Florida, Ole Miss. So I'm actually, Harrison, what you said applies to my thought process on this game. I just think this is when Florida runs out of gas. I do. I think this game.
Who are they pitching, though?
Who's Florida pitching?
Both. Who's Ole Miss pitching?
I think Florida's probably trotting Pierce Capalla out there.
That's what I
think Ole Miss.
You can't throw Hunter Elliott.
No.
You got to win this and then go throw Hunter Elliott against Arkansas. Mason Nichols through game 3, so I don't think he's gonna be available. Maybe
Could Riley Maddox go? Probably don't want to. You probably don't want to bump guys up like that.
It's a lot.
That's why we said getting to Thursday is the key day. If you can get to Thursday, and you haven't had to trot out your guys on short rest. But I'm thinking at past SEC tournaments, we've seen that before. Hagen Smith threw on like Tuesday last year.
Yeah,
he didn't go very long.
He threw bad. Yeah, he threw 3 innings.
But I guarantee you, somebody more than a couple of these teams are going to be having guys throw on short rest, especially with teams that have a ton to play for. Ole Miss, they're fighting for a hosting bid potentially. It's a lot to gain here, which we'll talk more about in a second.
That big weekend against Auburn helped them a ton.
Yeah, helped them a ton.
So building some momentum.
We'll talk more about that. Who's got the most to gain? So I just think Florida runs out of gas a little bit. I think Ole Miss still kind of an undervalued team in this league. I like them to win that game. A&M and Auburn. listen, I got A&M. I got Aggie with the upset in the first game. I'm not picking them to win another one. I can't do it. I'm going with the Auburn Tigers here. This past weekend against Ole Miss hasn't made me forget how good of a team Auburn really is. I think Auburn finds a way to beat Texas. I don't trust Texas A&M to even put 2 good days of baseball together.
It's my least confident pick.
I don't. Like I don't trust. I mean, I'm trying to think.
I put State at first to win those first 2 games.
I know I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong, but I don't feel like I recall A&M playing back-to-back good days of baseball this season.
LSU series, no, Tennessee.
No, because they lost.
Tennessee, they lost.
That was one day.
That was
that was a doubleheader. Arkansas was one day.
Was one day.
Not the Mizzou series, obviously.
I thought they played well against Georgia back-to-back days. You
Okay.
split the series. You split those games, but
did they win back-to-back games on separate days in SEC play? In SEC play?
You keep going. I'll look it up.
I don't know that they did. That's insane when you think about it. Anyways, I'm going with Auburn. You look that up. All right. The quarterfinals, I believe this. Yes, quarterfinals. This would be on Thursday and Friday, starting with the Thursday games. Bama, Texas. Very intriguing. Very intriguing matchup. I do agree with what you said, though, and even though there's people in the comments that think I'm a Texas hater, I've already been seeing it. I also just don't think the Horns are one and done here. I don't. I don't think the Horns are one and done. I like this matchup a lot, though. Bama maybe going to be trotting out. Is it Faye? Is it Riley Quick? I don't think it's probably Zane Adams, but I just think Texas finds a way. I do. I think
you got to throw Riley Quick in the situation.
And I think the rest is going to help Texas a little bit, too, not playing till Thursday.
It depends on how much they use Carson Osmer against Tennessee in that game, too.
And I think they're going to use him. To
answer your A&M question, they did one time against South Carolina series.
That's right. You are correct. Okay. I stand corrected. It's my bad.
Still, one time, though. They won back-to-back SEC games.
On different days.
Not a recipe for success.
No. So anyways, I'm going to go Texas to beat Bama. So for all the folks out there that, again, think I'm a Texas hater, could have went the other way. But we're going with the Horns. Georgia, Vandy, the nightcap on Thursday. Give me the doors. Give me anchor down. I just kind of some of the things you said. I think that pitching staff, they've done it once. I think they'll do it again. They're going to be – that staff's going to be well rested, ready to go, licking their chops. Again, we know the things Vandy doesn't do at a high level. They maybe not swing it like Georgia, but we're at the time of year, Harrison, where great pitching beats great hitting. A lot of times, I think this will be
pitching travels.
I think this will be one of those instances. If you got J.D. Thompson going, sign me up. And I think that's who will go. And I think Vandy will get the win here over the Georgia Bulldogs. Takes me to Friday. Arkansas and Ole Miss. This is a fun one. This would be
I'm glad we went different directions on this too. I wanted to go Arkansas.
This would be a really underrated, one of the best.
This should be the SEC tournament championship.
I think this would be one of the best matchups. Again, here's the thing, and y'all can see it in my bracket. I'm just going to put it out there. And it goes without saying, and it sounds so chalky, but in a single elimination tournament, Harrison, how can you not feel good about the top 4 seeds that all got these double buys? You're well rested, and it's like a normal SEC weekend for you. You get to just trot your game 1, game 2, game 3 guys. You don't have to do nearly as much. Think of how taxed Bama's going to be when they play Texas.
You're not sitting here in the sun in Hoover 2-3 days.
Right, exactly. You're going to be much more fresh. Your arms are going to be fresh. I think for that reason, I like Arkansas. They were my regular season pick in the preseason. Obviously, tip of the cap to Texas. They won it. I still think Arkansas, one of the best teams in the country. I think they do enough to beat Ole Miss and advance. And then finally, the nightcap of Friday, LSU and Auburn. Kind of a similar situation. I mean, dude, you're going to give me Cade Anderson against pretty much anybody in this tournament? I'd probably take him. So give me LSU. I think by the way, revenge spot, big time revenge spot for LSU, who got swept by Auburn at their place earlier in the season. LSU's pissed off about it. They take it personally. I think LSU is pissed at the world right now. Derek Curiel didn't win Freshman of the Year, right? They think Greg Sankey hates LSU, right? He's doing this, that, whatever. LSU is going to come in here pissed off, and I think they will beat the Auburn Tigers in that first game. Now,
hey, maybe LSU causes their own kind of Bull Durham rain delay. So they can play after midnight.
Maybe so. God forbid. God
so they can
forbid
play after
for
midnight.
Auburn, you better pray to God that game don't get delayed.
And you better pray that a crazy LSU fan, respectfully, doesn't find the irrigation system controls anywhere, because they will flood the place and make them take 4 or 5 hours, delay the game, and play after midnight, because no
Harrison,
one loves playing
if
after midnight.
LSU walks off another game at 1:17 a.m., I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do.
If they do it, are you going to book a ticket to Omaha for them?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm already going, so it doesn't matter. But, dude, I mean, that's some real voodoo Bayou
voodoo
shit right there. Just saying. All right, let's go to semifinal Saturday. Texas and Vandy. Again, I've been very open about it. Maybe it's because of the lack of love that I think at times us and a lot of others gave them, but I'm falling in love with Vandy this week. I am. I'm falling in love with Vandy.
Are you sure it's not the new hometown destination?
We did have a great opening weekend in Nashville, I will say. That's all the detail I'm going to give you. We had a great time. I like the pitching matchup. I like the pitching matchup a lot. I think Vanderbilt is going to have the horses in the stable to go toe-to-toe with that lineup, shut them down. I think this is just a good old-fashioned low-scoring pitchers duel. Vandy outduels Texas on the mound. It's simple as that for me. And I think Vandy advances to the championship. This big nightcap on Saturday, buddy. LSU, Arkansas, if we get this one, buckle your chin straps.
This is what I'm saying. It should have been the championship for the SEC tournament.
Buckle up if we get this one. Selfishly, by the way, on a side note, Harrison, the most toxic championship game we could get that I would love to see is LSU Texas on Sunday, because they loathe each other. Like, they
more so than LSU Tennessee.
It's there's not as much like maybe history. I don't know if that's the right word, but there's a lot of disdain there. Yeah, there's a lot of hatred with those two. Either way, that's not who I have. LSU Arkansas, going to be a hell of a game. Going to be pure cinema. I can't back off Woo Pig now. I've been drinking the Woo Pig Kool-Aid since the preseason began. This is going to be.
That's what that was?
This is going to be yes. Yeah, I was drinking the Kool-Aid. This is going to be a classic of a game. Classic of a game. We watched that series, right? What was a huge difference maker in that series? It was in Alex Box.
Alex Box, yeah. That's why we both went the home team.
I don't know. Maybe the magic of Alex Box travels over here to Hoover. Can you keep going to that well for that magic? I just don't know that you can. I like Arkansas. Find a way. It's an incredible matchup. Anthony Ianson for LSU. Arkansas going with what?
Gage Wood?
Gage Wood with Gabe Gackle following up.
Yeah.
Maybe they pitch off. I don't know. I mean, it probably wouldn't make sense because you have Ole Miss before that, but we'll see who's available.
On rest. It depends on how guys are feeling on rest.
We'll see who's available. And again, I've mentioned it many times. The thing that scares me about LSU, I could see it rearing its head in this game. That lineup can be shut down. We've seen it. We've seen them go ice cold, swinging it. We've seen them just disappear.
You're about to get your privileges revoked in Baton Rouge. I'm
going with Arkansas to win this game. Finally, my championship. Arkansas and Vanderbilt. Arkansas, Vanderbilt on Sunday. Give me Woo Pig. I'm drinking the Woo Pig Kool-Aid. I'm just give me Woo Pig Suey. I think at the end of the day, I've been saying it for weeks, and I will eat crow if I'm wrong, and it's totally fine. Arkansas is the most complete team still in this conference.
Yeah,
I still believe that.
So.
I still believe they are.
Highest floor and the highest ceiling. They play well on the road for the most part. They play extremely well at home at Baum Walker. And this isn't an Arkansas team like previous years. We know, obviously, I think pitching travels more so than it doesn't. But obviously, pitching does well at home. They're going to get to play well a long time at home as long as they keep winning. And the lineup that they have has helped them to be able to play at home this year more than others. And it's just a recipe for success for Arkansas to go on a deep run and just be comfortable playing at home until they hopefully get to Omaha. LSU, same way. Same way. I think they play well. They played well at Texas. LSU fans were going to like that. They played well at Texas. It was just Texas just had, one more hit, just whatever it was, just a little bit more, right? And it's these two teams. Like I said, I think if we see Arkansas and LSU in Omaha, neither one of us would be surprised. Yeah. I'll be shocked. I'll be more surprised if we don't see either one of them versus seeing both of them.
That being said, would I be shocked if Arkansas pissed down their leg in the postseason? No, I would not, because we've seen them do that before. I hope that doesn't happen.
I did say, Chris,
but it won't happen this week.
I said on the last show we did this morning, I said, I think Vanderbilt might be this year's Arkansas of 2024. Elite pitching, bottom third of the SEC in hitting, going to host a regional.
And be a top 8 national seed. I think Arkansas, to the point I wanted to make, yes, they swing it for power. We now know they have the SEC Player of the Year, and Wahiwa Aloy. Obviously, his brother, Kuhio Aloy, is fantastic. Brent Iredale's a monster. Davalon's a monster. Like, just 1 through 9.
Ryder Helfrich's had a hell of a past couple weeks.
Heck of a last few weeks. They swing it for power as well as anybody, but I think the thing I like about their lineup too, they are very gap to gap. I think you were the one that said that they lead the SEC in doubles. Maybe they're like right there. So they're not just a one-faceted offense.
They are in doubles, 107 doubles. LSU leads it with 119.
Okay.
Mississippi State actually has the most doubles. That's overall. Let's go conference, but I think that's a better indicator.
I think this lineup is multifaceted enough where it's not like they're coming into this just purely relying on the home
They're
run.
third in the SEC in doubles behind.
Okay.
Auburn has 64. They have the most. Mississippi State 62 and Arkansas 56.
And that's in SEC play.
Yes.
So, yeah.
They lead the conference in batting average, though.
Yeah. They're not only going to rely on power, they're going to use that gap-to-gap abilities, I think. A lot of guys in the lineup can hurt you. I think it'll be enough. And again, you notice with both of our picks, I will be really, really surprised, Harrison, if the winner of this tournament's not one of those top 4 seeds. And I mean, listen, we could be wrong, and that'd make for some great drama. But man, you're just at such an advantage. Yeah. You're at such an advantage. And we talked about some of the dark horses that can make runs, but just realistically, the way your pitching is going to be so taxed versus, again, like we mentioned, Arkansas, LSU, Texas, Vandy, it's a normal weekend for you. You have everybody ready to go. I mean,
yeah. Both of them do.
Yeah. I mean, really, any of those top 4 seeds wouldn't be a bad pick of any of them.
And it's the reason why the top 4 seeds are all the best odds. Arkansas plus 250, LSU plus 410, Vanderbilt plus 600, Texas plus 650. I mean, it makes sense because of you have to win 3 games. You're not in Hoover playing for a week in the hot, humid sun, using just everybody and trying to strategically piece everything together for everything to fit the puzzle right in Hoover because of how hard it is to do so and just kind of the paths that need to be taken. You need balls to land in fair. It's game of inches. You need hops to go your way. You need calls to go your way. It takes a lot in it. I mean, I'm curious if we should have looked back the last 5 years of how the teams, I know it's a different situation with the double elimination, but still how the teams, the top 4 teams have done in it. Mm-hmm. Obviously different year this year with the format, but I mean, it's hard to bet against those teams with the double bye.
Yeah, it's a very good point. We mentioned it throughout our conversation, but briefly, teams with the most to gain. I think this week is fascinating from the standpoint of Florida, Ole Miss, Alabama, and Tennessee, all fighting for postseason baseball in their home field. It's all possible for all 4 of them. Now, some other things probably have to happen across the country, but those are teams that, let's say they make it to Saturday or to Sunday, God forbid, maybe play their way on the hosting line. I mean, I think that's what's going to make this week really fascinating because, like I said, everybody's going to be playing to win this tournament, but it's a different vibe if you're Texas or LSU or Arkansas and for a fact you've got the top 8 national seed locked up versus if you're one of those ones I mentioned, right? I mean, it's just the path of the postseason clears up so much when you host postseason baseball on your home field. So I think those ones I mentioned, Florida, Ole Miss, Alabama, Tennessee, probably most to gain this week from good showings.
Florida, Alabama, Tennessee. Yeah.
And Ole Miss.
I definitely add Ole Miss in there. I think you can toss Mississippi State in there too.
That's a good one.
I think because if Mississippi State wins 3 games in this, a lot of the other things around the country have happened, but I think they're in that conversation of, can they sneak into that 16 because they'd be 19-15. I mean, we talk about how important it is to win, 15 games in the SEC, but like with the tournament too, if they win 4 games, they might have a worthy conversation for sneaking as the 16 seed if things in other conference tournaments play out certain ways, which a lot of moving pieces now. It's tough. It's like, oh, this is the projection for the field of 64. These are the hosts. Like the top 8 hosts are these are going to be the top 8 hosts, right? These are going to be the national seeds for a reason. But outside of that, it feels like a very wide open, I want to say, hosting bubble at the end. A lot.
Well, because like literally, I think I know it's not SEC related, but literally, I think 2 weeks ago, Clemson was projected as a 2 seed somewhere. Now they're projected as a 12 overall.
Yeah.
I mean, where'd that come from? I mean, I know they just won over the weekend, but it's like, how do you jump that much? So a lot can happen, I think, to your point.
I mean, also, I'll mention this. I mean, not at SEC, but I have to mention this. Georgia Tech. How going into the last week they aren't ranked? And I thought they're going into the Louisville series. They're about 27, 28, maybe Louisville's top 20 team. They were on that, position of maybe hosting as well. They were number 20th in country. You take 2 or 3 from Louisville at home, Danny Hall's last week, and then you have the last week in the ACC that 6 teams can still win the conference. They go in, like the right pieces fall. They go in the series at Duke, and there's just like, you're the ACC champions and you're not ranked at all. And then they have, Florida State, who, what's their ranking right now? 6th in the country, didn't win the ACC. It doesn't make sense to me. But then they also have Florida State as the number 11 national seed and sneaking Georgia Tech in from unranked to 16th. That is the biggest jump I've seen in the rankings ever, I think. And you put them on the hosting bubble on 16.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now they got Tennessee projected there.
A lot to shake out.
A lot can happen. I mean,
if A&M makes it to Sunday, are they in? Let's start giving some. Right. Let's give some hope. What are
they at? 13? No, they're not 13. Tell me
11, right?
11. That's 5. That's 4. So 1, 2, 3. 15.
I mean, the latest projections, I think they're like right there on the.
I think they sneak in.
The last 4 or whatever.
They sneak in. If they win 4 in the SEC tournament, they sneak in. Wow.
Super long shot.
I'm
long shot. Listen,
I think it's more
not trying to get the Aggies in the chat. We're sparking some wild dreams out here.
Kentucky's a 3 seed right now. I mean, let's say they win 2 games. They can maybe sneak into, a better 3 seed or the last 2 seed maybe if they win 3.
This kind of reminds me, what was it, the 2003?
I know we're playing the what if
ALCS.
Game.
He's like, don't let us win tonight. The Red Sox, Kevin Youkilis, don't let us win. Don't let Aggie get hot. You never know. I can't believe I'm buying into it at all, that it's even possible. I think they win a game and that's it. But you want to look at past. Who has the most to gain?
Someone's got to have, they have a lot of games. Someone's got to win.
Who has the most to gain?
But notice, I think neither one of us had a team that plays in the first round, day 1, play more than 3 games. It's
just going to be hard. It's just going to be really, really hard.
So, and I think that makes the most sense. I mean, I think the best opportunity to do so, I think State or A&M, because I think, I don't know. I mean, a lot can happen. Anything can happen with the tournament, but it's hard to predict. This is, I think, so hard to predict this. I don't think people understand how hard the SEC tournament is to predict, because take away like the whole rotation aspect of it with, every series last week was a Thursday to Saturday, and then this starts on a Tuesday, the bye, like, I think in general, if it was normal, it would still be hard to predict. This just makes it 10 times harder to predict. And I mean, who wants to win? Like, I'm not going to say a coach, wants to get out and go home, and go get ready for a regional if they're hosting, but like, are they going to pull out every stop? They're going to leave, Dylan Valencia in for 2 innings versus 1, things like that. Like, are they going to allow their starter to go 6 innings or into the 7th inning versus the 5th? Like, not that they don't have a lot to gain from it, because I think every coach and every player wants to win the SEC tournament title, but it's like, I don't know. That's the thing that I don't think people understand them as much as they think they do about it, just from a dialed in focus on their team and what they need or want to do or want to see happen.
It's going to be a fun week, man. It's going to be a fun week for sure. Can't wait to see how it plays out. Great baseball over the field. I mean, this is essentially a preview of Omaha, the best baseball in the country. Teams fighting for their own respective things, obviously outside just the simple fact of winning a trophy, hoisting it on Sunday. And we're going to have content bleeding out of the eyeballs. We can't wait to take it in with all of you. This has been a blast, man. This has been a blast. Really cool. I would probably argue our coolest show of the season. And we've officially hit the postseason.
And we had no idea what the setup was going to look like at all until about 3 hours ago.
Yeah. So you just make it happen, man. You just roll with the punches and just do it.
Hey, we're on the road here in Hoover. Every team's on the road. We're on the road. It's a road game.
Hey,
it's a road game.
Everybody's playing a road game.
Everyone's playing a road game here in Hoover.
It's all about adapting this time of year.
Including Auburn and Alabama.
Pushing through the adversity. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, pushing through the adversity. Guys, again, we appreciate you all tuning in. Really, really good stuff. Want to get into some of your questions here. We see you all. Gig 'em Bart, I promise you, I am not trolling. I just said Aggie. I'm not trolling by saying that. It just honestly popped into my head. I'm sorry if that was offensive.
Wait.
Yeah, I mean, our guy Gig 'em Bart is going to be all over it if the Aggies make it that far. Dash says, hook 'em. What's going on? Jerry Jones, a lot of Texas fans in here, obviously. We love to see it. Roger Morris, Arkansas, seen LSU pitching. That would be a great game. I would agree. It'd be one of the best games, if not the game of
this has to be the deepest chat that we've had of any show.
Yes. I mean, the chat's rolling. Everybody's got a rep. I mean, let us know who you think's going to win the SEC tournament.
Not to give Bart all the love, but I got to pull this one up. Beginning of the show. Lock it in for the epic Aggie run in Hoover, fellas. If anyone wants to clip that, they can.
It's coming. Our guys over at Chinook, if you're traveling, loves travel stops, Buc-ee's, all carry Chinook. Definitely support. Harrison, pull up some of the comments. I'm gonna do something real quick.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Our guys at Chinook, we gotta show them some love.
I think my favorite thing, Chris, is when you say something good about someone's team and they automatically say you know ball. You say something bad about their team, you clearly don't know ball, right? And there we go. Ball knowers, no seeds. You gave me you gave me a couple of the best flavors.
Real ones know.
Got the smokehouse barbecue here.
Real ones know.
Parmesan pepper. Rain. The cinnamon toast.
Make it rain.
It's like eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I will say, but it's not too sweet.
The SECU house in Hoover, brought to you by Chinook Seeds.
No, that's good.
I love it. Listen, we had to show our guy Chinook some love. They've been here all season. We appreciate y'all greatly. Let's see some other questions here.
Hey, best part of the day right here.
Best part of the day.
Matthew.
Yeah, appreciate y'all, man. Really special episode of the Wind Up. We appreciate y'all. How about this? Gunner Files points out all 9 for Arkansas are now hitting over 300.
I've preached on that. It's been crazy to see. There was a couple I want to get to. Yeah, LSU fans, they'll be wasted by Friday. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. They'll be wasted by tomorrow. Chinook says, by the way, Harrison, no shaving during the tournament.
Hey. If Mizzou wins the game, I won't shave the rest of the tournament.
All right. There you go. If MIZ gets it done.
Hey, if they were playing a Phi Delta Theta Stadium, I would be more worried about that one, but I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to turn to
Sorry, if they were playing a Phi Delta Theta Stadium or Bluebell Park, I'd be more worried, but I'm not.
Oh, man. Oh, our guy.
Hey, speaking of our guys, our guy Cruz.
How about Cruz up here? The Tide are going to roll.
He better like your bracket, not mine, because I don't see it rolling past
the
fighting. I don't see the Tigers rolling past the fighting Tony Vitellos and Darth Vader of Tony Vitello.
That'd be a fun one.
Per the comment.
That'd be a fun one.
If you know, you know. There was a couple other ones I wanted to get to.
That'd be a fun one.
Over under how many bags of seeds we eat this week?
Well, I brought, seeing as the floor is completely covered, and there's still more in this bag. All of them.
Okay.
There's got to be at least like 15 bags of seeds here. I'm good for one
15.
a game. I'm good for one a game at least.
How many games? There's what? Like going to be 20 games?
4 games a day. 4 games. So 8 games in the first 2 days.
See,
2, 4, 10, 6, 12,
15
games.
You do it all by yourself.
But we're only going to be here through Friday.
Yeah.
So
we can do
there'll be seeds to go around.
I
can go a bag a game.
There was one comment I have to find that I saw.
I can go a bag a
game.
Chinook says we'll have 10,000 plus in Omaha. I'm gonna bring a box too.
I'm gonna bring 2, but I'll be honest, Chinook. I left my boxes at home. I'll be bringing them for postseason.
We won't let him forget his boxes for the Omaha.
Where I have to find.
We won't let him do that. So
did you? I don't think you saw this comment. I have to find this. So fill with whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I'll tell you this. I'll fill with this. We want to say thank you to all of you that have been tuning in all season, making this possible. We talked about it for weeks, talked about it for months. Man, the postseason is going to be so much fun. We're going to do so much incredible stuff. Content's going to be great. We all kind of daydreamed of this moment, I think, without rushing through what was a fantastic regular season. Just want to say thank you to you all, your love and your support. Without you guys, we wouldn't be where we are, where we're going, what we're doing, what we're becoming. Just truly grateful for each and every single one of you. And you guys make the journey as enjoyable as it is. And just really excited for the week, man. Just excited to, to watch the best sport in the world, dare I say. And the fact that we get to deliver the content to an audience that loves college baseball just as much as we do. It's truly a pleasure. So grateful for it.
All right, I found it.
All right, what's the comment? Let's see it.
Dark Knight.
A sleeper build? What is a sleeper build?
I have no
idea. What does that mean?
I saw that when you were talking. When I was scrolling back, I was like, oh my gosh.
I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult.
Apparently, in colloquial Beeham, it's a compliment. So
Harrison's jacked. Listen, Harrison's
hey, I told you.
It's
Chris,
Run Club.
I'm popping up a new Run Club here in Birmingham. Club. I'm popping up a new one here in Birmingham this week. I already reached out to him. I had a couple people that I reached out to in our Atlanta Run Easy group chat about, hey, I need a Birmingham Run Club. I got 2 replies within 2 minutes from 1,800 people. I mean, I got plugged in already.
Run Club guy.
Hey, I brought workout clothes. Gonna get a couple lifts in here, run with a new Run Club in. So we'll report back and got to earn my seeds, right? Got to earn my seeds.
Something like that.
Got to earn it, right?
Something
especially
like
with the good food we're gonna be having.
Hey, you don't think this is the Jared Jones, do you? Probably not. But $10 super chat, Jared Jones. Thank you, Jared. I will not call you Bear because I don't think that's who that is. But
hey, Marietta, Georgia native, local.
Really?
Went to my high school.
Okay, nice. Hey, Jared. Great name. That's a great name.
JJ.
JJ, you're the man.
No,
appreciate
shout
it.
out Jared Jones for sure.
Appreciate you.
I had to find that one. That almost took forever. But I know, one thing I do want to mention again, I saw this comment. It says, it's a max 4-hour drive from wherever you are in Mississippi to Hoover. That's going to be one of the most interesting storylines. See kind of the fan support from a environmental aspect of it for college baseball for the SEC tournament, but also the players, the teams, and just for our experience as a whole, Because, you got to think, how far is it from Oklahoma?
Yeah, it's a hike.
And it's like with the, single elimination, it's like, is that trip worth it? Or can we go to a regional and go to see a couple games maybe? That's going to be fun to see. But I'm going to keep note as best I can of which fan base shows up the most. I'm not going to take out LSU because it's going to be LSU, but I'm saying from Alabama and Auburn, I'm curious to see. They're both down the road and kind of hype and anticipation around Auburn season for sure. It's a lot closer to Tuscaloosa, but I don't know. It's going to be fun to watch. And this place can hold some new seats. The renovations, the seats in the outfield, they redid the third base dugout, I think, too. Some of the concourse seating, too, as well.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And they have the Fan Fest zone up the hill past, I guess, kind of down right field line up that hill there past the SEC Network set. And really cool zone. So if you do come to the SEC tournament, fans, go to the Fan Fest zone. Really, really cool. Obviously for, I think, all fans, but especially the kids love that. It's air conditioned. You're sold, right? You're sold. Nate, need I say any more? It's air conditioned, right? Water fountains in there, obviously, but they have like a 200-foot screen. They have games going on. So, relax a little bit, get out of the sun for a bit, but definitely a cool spot to check out and, enjoy the experience. Make the most of it. That's what we're going to be doing and make sure he does that, whether it's, content, fans, food, everything, seeds. So I'm excited. This is the first time doing it postseason. Omaha, we just threw together, it felt like.
Yeah.
And so this one, a lot more planning involved and, going to make the most of it and help grow the game of college baseball, especially in the SEC, and, enjoy it while we're here. Get some good vlogs going. We'll get definitely some short and long form vlogs going, some daily recap, game recaps, reactions, each and everything in between, inside and outside the lines.
Yeah. Good stuff, brother. Love you. Good stuff. Love y'all too. Appreciate it again. Thank you all so much. Stay tuned for all the content. You already know where we're going to be. Just to update you.
They do serve alcohol, I believe.
There you go.
I didn't have any last time.
Tomorrow and Wednesday, we will be live middle of the day and end of the day to recap the games. Going to break that up, obviously, while we're going middle day, end of day. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. One big show after the 2 games. Friday, one big show after the 2 games. Plus Friday Night Spikes. We'll figure all that out and how we're going to do it. But Friday Night Spikes will be happening. And then I know for a fact on Saturday and Sunday, we'll be live yet again after the games, recapping everything, breaking it down all the way to Championship Sunday. And like Harrison mentioned, tons of other stuff as well. Vlogs, social media, other segments,
post-game interviews, like everything.
Other things that'll organically come about from the week. So it's going to be a blast. So again, appreciate you all. I'm excited to rock the week with you, Harrison. Again, we are excited to rock the week with you all. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast. If you get your podcasts, you can also find us across all social media platforms, well as our website, secunfiltered.com. And again, this is a great week to make sure you got notifications on. You're following us everywhere. You're following Harrison Fant on social media. You're following me as well. We're going to have all kinds of content for you guys. Super fired up to get it going tomorrow morning. So
hey, let me get my hat tip for the episode. It's the fans that show up in Hoover.
Hey.
Tip of the cap.
The
fans that show up in Hoover, because the fans are what makes this experience what it is from each and every aspect of it. I'm telling you. You're going to see it like this place is coming alive when the fans come.
Yeah.
So
well said. Tip of the cap to you all. Again, appreciate you all.
For Harrison Fant, come say what's up. Come say hey.
Please come say what's up to us. We'll have stickers. We'll have seeds. Well, ball knowers know. We'll try to chop it up with you. So, anyways, appreciate you all. For Harrison Fant, I'm Chris Phillips. This is The Wind Up, live from Hoover, SEC Unfiltered's bi-weekly college baseball show, the best college baseball show on the internet. Y'all enjoy the baseball this week. We'll talk to you throughout the week. Let's give them hell in Hoover. Cheers.